Khubor ka Batesi TV. Lawan Rashapi da ka Frank Motors. The dark is here to rule.
Come to item number 3. Call attention notice. Sri Madalbon CM MLA to call the attention of the Minister in charge, Home Political, under Rule 54 1 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to the news item published in Nong Sain Hima, dated 16th March 2023 under the caption Song Sier Ki Paitba Basha Pendik Haki Pulit Wan Kyntur Putbiang Ka Assam Sohïong. Sri Madalbon CM MLA, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to raise a point of order under Rule 300 pertaining to the least of business that has been earmarked for today. Now, keeping in mind the very important provision of discussion on the budget, because on last Friday, the day when we had this allocation of, as per the calendar, allocation of time for private members' business, the House expected that the time of the House will be extended, keeping in mind a very limited days of business that was allocated by Business Advisory Committee. I spoke to our colleagues who were in the Business Advisory Committee, and we were made to understand that keeping in mind the limited days, at least during each day, in the event of a perceived need, a time will be extended. But on Friday, it was not extended. So I would again refresh our memory and express my deep appreciation on your own observation. There are plenty of newly elected members who would probably like to participate in various spaces of discussion, including during the time of private members' business. But today we have a discussion on budget. So would like to request your kind consideration that this time allocation be considered in such a manner that while we dispose of all other business, we have enough time for giving the members an opportunity to participate in budget discussion. So this is what I would like to suggest, keeping in mind what has happened on Friday.
Okay, matter is noted, and I will examine and provide. My action will be as per requirement. But Madalbon, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing me to call the attention of the Chief Minister in charge of Home Political under Rule 54.1 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business on the news item published in Nong Sain Hima, dated 16 March 2023, under the caption Song Sier Ki Paitba Sha Pendik Haki Pulit Wan Kyntur Putbiang Ka Assam Haki Jaka Hima Sohïong. In English version, people were panicked and scared through harassment by police. Again, there is an encroachment by Assam within Hima Sohïong. So, through this call attention, I would like to bring into the notice of the government, the Honorable Chief Minister, through you, sir, about this incident that has happened in these villages just came out in the newspaper last week. Even though we have talked at length with regard to the border issue that has been lingering around for so long, where initiative steps have been taken by the government of the day to address, to ease the long pending issue about border, where we have seen in the first phase the talk in 6 areas of difference have started. The process has been initiated. The agreement has been signed, even though there are a few issues here and there that has to be looked into and addressed in future. In the second phase, where the notification also has come out by the government, where another 6 areas of difference, like Langpi, Bordua, Nongwa, Mautamo, Des Domria, Siar Kanduli, and Block 1, Block 2. Now, this issue is very particular with the area in Nongwa, Mautamo, that will be taken up in this second phase, where incident has happened in the erstwhile Hima, Nongwa, Mautamo, where the incident about the construction of the road there has been a clash between the locality there, which falls within these villages in this area. Let me name the village. The name of these villages within this area are Amring, Amtarlet, Jalut Paham, Rumu Paham, Urblang, Nong Tari, Kentem Nong Mali, Matakong, Panjula, Garbahangarim, Garbahangatmai, Deka Patar, Umtading Nongwa Matamur, and so on. These are the villages which are reside there. And my concern here is about the security and the safety of the people. If we look at the headlines also, sir, I'm not saying about the developmental work that have been taken place with the road or the construction of other developmental activities, but my concern is about the safety and security of the people who reside there. So my issue is that, to this call attention to you, sir, number one, it is safety and security of the people in those villages mentioned. Number two, regular patrolling by the police. Number three, border magistrate has to be in place from time to time to visit the place, to meet the village headman or the concerned there. And also, police officer not below the rank of Deputy Superintendent of Police has to be deployed, because we don't want any untoward incident again to happen, like it has happened in Mukro just recently and in other part of our state also. It's very unfortunate, and we don't want, as a peace-loving state, we don't want this thing to happen. So we have to be proactive, we have to be prompt, so we have to place ourselves so that our people who reside there, not only in Nongwa, Mautomo, be it in Langpi or in Block 1, Block 2, incident keep on happening. So my intention to this call attention through you to the Honorable Chief Minister, despite of so many issues, I'm so thankful that issues have been taken, serious note has been taken by the government. But as a legislator from Ivoy, I felt that it's my duty to call attention so that we will look forward the speedy intervention and for the safety of the people of these areas. So thank you so much, sir, for allowing me to raise this call attention. Thank you so much. I resume my seat.
Yeah, Minister in charge to reply, please. Chief Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sir, at the very outset, I would like to thank our honourable member from Nongpo constituency, Bob Meralbon CM, for having raised or tabled a call attention motion on the caption Songsier ki Paitba Basha Pindik Haki Pulit Wan Kyntur Podbiang Ka Assam Haki Jaka Ka Hima Sohïong. Sir, I have a very detailed reply which would take me a lot of time to read, and hence in the interest of time I would just like to mention that overall, pertaining to the respective developmental issues that are going on as per this article had raised, I just want to give a sense to the House that, number one, we have
been seeing that since 2008 and in couple of other occasions, the chief ministers for the last 15 years now have ensured that the development activities should continue in these areas of differences, in spite of all the differences that we have. The developmental aspect should not be affected. And hence, in 2008 and once in 2010, there were two different letters or agreements that were signed between the two chief ministers to that effect. And also during the meetings that were held between the incumbent chief minister of Assam and myself, we have very clearly mentioned in all our meetings in front of all the regional committee members that developmental schemes, especially the central schemes that are being implemented, should not be stopped by either side, and that there should be complete support from all the administration and the public, and especially the respected deputy commissioners, to ensure that if any concerns come up, it should be resolved at the earliest. And hence, based on that, we have seen that in Ribhoi district area itself, in the Ribhoi district itself, almost close to 26 different central schemes and different departmental schemes are being implemented without any major issue from Meghalaya's side. The implementation is going on. Similarly, even in West Khasi Hills, there was one particular road which was being constructed by the Meghalaya PWD for the PMGSY, which is the Kirdum to Langpi 5-kilometer road. And even this road had faced some problem earlier. But after the discussions that took place between the two chief ministers, the work in this area also has resumed. And hence, we are continuously engaging with our counterparts to ensure that while we are in the process of trying to find a solution to this very, very complicated problem, two things. Number one, the security and safety of the citizens in those areas must be ensured by both sides. And two, the different developmental issues and concerns that are there, or developmental activities that are taking place, should not be stopped by either side. And so while we do that, of course, that is the intention of both the governments. But there are, of course, situations where there is a lot of tension in all these areas, and there could be instances and circumstances where things get a bit complicated. And we have seen that in the past. But a lot of people do not realize that because of the communication that is taking place now, because of the engagement that is taking place, because of the continuous discussions going on with our counterparts at different levels, whether it's at the BDO level, the IC, OC levels, or the SP, DC level, or the OSD levels, or the chief ministers and the chief secretary level, we have been able to move forward a number of development activities which were stopped because of the fact that this the complications were there, and because of that certain works were stopped. We have seen many of them move forward, number one. We have also seen that many situations which could have ultimately led to a lot of more complicated tension in those areas were resolved because of this communication. But while that happens, we have also seen that, yes, in certain instances, things went beyond a certain level and it got very complicated. So what I would like to assure the House, and especially the Honourable Member who has raised this particular issue, sir, through you, is that definitely while we are focusing on ensuring that we find a permanent solution to this issue, and so that is really the only way that we see that we will see long-lasting peace in these areas of differences. And hence, we must all work together to come to an amicable solution in this, and the best solution, as I call it, in regards to the border issue. That is the only way to ensure that the future generations and even the current population out there do not suffer anymore. So while we work towards that goal of ensuring that we are able to resolve the problems and resolve these areas of differences, there is also a very, very strong effort both from the Assam government and Assam and Meghalaya government and from the Assam Chief Minister and Meghalaya Chief Minister to ensure that safety and security of our citizens should be maintained. Any complex issue that arises should be resolved at the earliest. Safety should be maintained, and development work that is going on should not be stopped. So there is a continuous engagement. Even as I said, there is almost like a hotline between the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam and myself, where immediately if anything happens, even though it may be a very small issue, the two of us are always engaging to ensure that we are able to resolve any kind of small issues that are coming out. So that's number one from the point of view of what these engagements are doing. Our goal is to resolve this issue, and while we do that, our goal is to ensure that communication and engagement is done with Assam government and all the different levels to ensure that the safety and security of the people is maintained, and number two, development activities are not stopped. While that happens, sir, the other side of the story, of course, is that we have to also ensure that the confidence of our people is built by ensuring that the necessary infrastructure and manpower in terms of security is provided. And hence, from the government side also, from Meghalaya government side also, we have mentioned already in our different speeches and different questions and motions that we have ensured that the different border outposts are being created and sufficient manpower is being put in there to ensure that this safety is provided. The SPs, the DSPs, and the different officers in charge of different police stations are being are being communicated and been told to ensure that continuous patrolling and monitoring is done. And hence all these activities to build up the confidence of the people is also being done from our end, sir. So therefore this engagement, this discussion and working towards a solution will also be there. The Honourable Member himself is part of the regional committee for Rebhoy, and he has played a very active role in the past also, and we look forward to his positive and active role even in us working towards finding a solution to the next phase, which is a very, very complicated phase. And as a local representative from that area, I'm sure he will get ample opportunity in those meetings also to express all these concerns in front of our Assam counterparts also. So, sir, with these few words, I once again thank the Honourable Member for tabling this call attention motion, and with these clarifications, I resume my seat, sir.
Honourable CM, you may seek one clarification, please.
I would like to place on record my sincere thanks to the Honourable Chief Minister for the constructive response that has been replied, especially for the safety and security of the local residents of those villages, and also the regular patrolling of police personnel in that area, so that the sense of security will be there with the people at large. So I will look forward that, as the Honourable Chief Minister have said, that in the second phase also we'll work together, as I have been on saying even in the past, that this complicated issue can be resolved together. All this honourable members, 60 we have in this August House, across party line. Let us work together in days to come, so that in phase 6, which is more complicated, we can work hand in hand, especially for the security of these people in Nongwa Mautamur, which is another, which is in the section 7 of this disputed area. Thank you so much for allowing me to raise this call attention. Thank you, sir.